Before we get into today's video, I do want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. Good morning, my lovelies, my beauties, my friends. My name is Christina and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will subscribe, stick around, take a chance in hearing some things that I have to say. And if you are a returning subscriber, y'all already know, y'all are my babies. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. Well, I guess I should be saying good evening, good evening, good evening, because y'all are getting this in the evening time. Well, I guess depends on where you're at. So today's video, as part of our spooky season collection that we're doing, we're going to be talking about the infamous 27 Club. Have y'all ever heard of this? It's a pretty interesting phenomenon or a theoretical club. It's very intriguing and it leaves you with a lot of questions and a lot of just unknowns. Before we get into it though, I do want to let you guys know, if you don't already know, hi, my name is Christina. I do have a second channel, which is Casually Christina. I also have a Facebook as well as an Instagram and a Snapchat. And I also have a Patreon. My Patreon is for 18 and up. Over there, we talk about more personal story times. We go live over there. We also have a $2 tier over there where all of the true crime stuff that cannot go here on YouTube due to their terms and policies goes over there on Patreon. And we're also getting into like some sea theories and stuff like that. So all of those links are down in the description box if you'd like to come and check me out. So the 27 Club is a theoretical club made up of popular musicians, athletes, artists, actors, and other celebrities that passed at the age of 27. Now their passings have been chucked up mostly to do with substance abuse, alcohol, but there are some more questionable scenarios like some foul play or maybe even people ending it all. Now, this club has been repeatedly talked about in magazines, been talked about by other like artists, musical artists. I don't know if you guys know the rapper Uzi, but Uzi even said that he would be part of the 27 Club and people believed him so much. I saw over on TikTok that there were people expecting him to wake up on his 27th birthday and then pass away or not wake up on his 27th birthday. There were people like literally waiting. And then when he lived past his 27th birthday, they were all shocked. Now, there's been books, movies, songs, and even plays made about this infamous 27 Club. Mac Miller actually said in a song called Brand Name, "To everyone who sells me substances, don't mix it with that BS. I'm hoping not to join the 27 Club." But as you probably know, Mac Miller did indeed pass at the age of 26, and it has been said to be because he took a pill that had the very lethal fentanyl in it. And so he sung about that and he actually didn't even make it to 27 and his life ended in the exact way that he sung he didn't want it to end. The deaths of several 27-year-old popular musicians between 1969 and 1971 led to the belief that deaths are more common at that age. Music biographer Charles Cross wrote, "The number of musicians who died at 27 is truly remarkable. Although humans die regularly at all ages, there is a statistical spike for musicians who die at 27. Now, even though this claim for the statistical spike of these passings at the age of 27 has been argued by scientific research, it is still a cultural phenomenon that documents the deaths of celebrities. And many were living high-risk lifestyles. So let's start with the one that really got this going. Robert Johnson. Now, Robert Johnson was a blues musician who passed in 1938. He is one of the earliest popular musicians to be included in the 27 Club. In August of 1938, just a few months after his 27th birthday, Robert Johnson tried to make a move on the wife of an owner of a roadhouse where he was playing. Then he drank from an open bottle of whiskey he was offered, and he died 3 days later of poisoning and pneumonia. But the thing that makes Robert's passing so eerie and creepy is because it was well known where he lived that Robert sold his soul to the devil for fame. Now, I know. Oh, satanic panic, Christina, satanic panic. Hey, this ain't my story. This is theirs. It is said that Robert, all he wanted to do was play blues music, and he sucked. Like, he sucked. Nobody wanted to listen to him. Allegedly, his own daddy was like, boy, put that thing down. Like, no, right? But the tale goes that one day, Robert came upon the devil, and when the devil asked him what he wanted, Robert said, more than anything in the world, he wanted to be the best blues musician that there is around. And the devil said, if you give me your soul. And Robert agreed. Now, this is the tale. Then it was said that out of nowhere, Robert became phenomenal. Like, he was playing fast, he was playing slow, he was playing great. People were crowding around him. He was booking gigs. And the next thing you know, he was a popular and wonderful, well-respected blues musician. But if anybody knows anything about satanic folktale or the Bible or anything like that, you know that the devil always pays his debts, and he always comes to collect when he is owed. And that is why people believe, still to this day, getting closer to 100 years later, that the reason why Robert died at 27 was because the devil came to collect the debt. It may not mean anything if that was the only story like that, but there are other stories where people have said and admitted that they have done rituals and things in order to trade their soul for fame and fortune on this earth. You know that scripture that says, what good is it for a man to gain the whole entire world, but to lose his soul? But let's move on here to Brian Jones, who also passed at 27. Brian Jones was one of the founders of the Rolling Stones. He passed in 1969 in England. People said that he mixed alcohol with substances and then dove into a swimming pool. Now, his girlfriend claims that when he was pulled out of the pool, he still had a pulse. He was alive. He was going to be okay. And the ambulance came to get him, but later he was pronounced dead when he arrived at the hospital, which always sparked questions with people like, how? How did that happen? How did he go from alive to dead there in the care of professionals? Now, the death of Brian has been one of the biggest mysteries in the rock world. Even members of the Rolling Stones have expressed doubts. Keith Richards said, and still, the mystery of his death hasn't been solved. I don't know what happened, but there was some nasty business going on. The infamous Jimi Hendrix. Yes, only 27 years old. Jimi Hendrix, who was a successful guitarist, singer, and songwriter, died on September 18th of 1970 while staying with his girlfriend in London. Jimi took some sleeping pills. Nobody knows how many pills he swallowed or if he even knew what he was taking. The pill was called Vesparax, a strong barbiturate. Supposedly, half of a tablet was enough to put someone to sleep for 8 hours. They say that Jimi may have swallowed up to 9 of them. It was said that he ended up asphyxiating on his own vomit. But later, his girlfriend Monica would say that's not at all what happened. She believed that he was murdered, and she thought that somebody in the mafia poisoned him. So now you have 3 people, a part of the 27 Club, that people believe that there was foul play involved. Janis Joplin. Janis Joplin, who is one of the most successful female rock stars of all time, just 3 weeks after Jimi Hendrix's death at around 1 a.m. on October 4th in 1970, Janis injected herself with in her left arm. She then went down to the hotel lobby to get a pack of cigarettes. When she came back up, she started to get undressed. She reached for her pack of cigarettes on the nightstand, and as she did, she ended up hitting her head on the nightstand and falling onto the floor. That's where she was found unalive the next day. Now, it is said that the H that she got that night was much stronger than she was used to, but people around her do not believe that, by no means. Everybody that just about was around her said, or knew her, said that she shot up on H all the time. Like, this is something she did on a regular basis, you know, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with her coffee type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, she wasn't no rookie at this. But some people say it was stronger. Then there are people that think there was something more sinister involved. However, there is a rumor that there was that same batch of H went around and multiple people OD'd on it, but we'll never truly know. Jim Morrison. Jim Morrison, who was the lead singer of the band The Doors, in July of 1971, Jim passed from a heart attack apparently caused by an H overdose while living in Paris. No autopsy was actually performed, but it is said that he confused the H for the white powder stuff and accidentally OD. His girlfriend Pamela would find him deceased in the bathtub, but to make this story a little bit darker, Pamela was found not long after that dead at 27 too. Now, all of this seems strange, but it was not until the passing of Kurt Cobain that the whole 27 Club became a thing. That's when people started going, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, something's going on here. Now, Kurt Cobain, who was the lead singer of the band Nirvana, passed in 1994 at the age of 27. It is said that Kurt Cobain ended it all in his home in 1994 in Seattle. He left a note addressed to his childhood imaginary friend saying he had not felt the excitement of listening to as well as creating music along with really writing for too many years now. Just a week before his death, he had escaped from a rehab facility and nobody knew where he was. It was an electrician that eventually found him deceased in his home with a weapon pointed at his chin. According to Jimi Hendrix and Kurt Cobain's biographer, Charles Cross, the internet, magazines, and TV, plus something Kurt Cobain's mother said in an interview, are what were responsible for the theory behind the 27 Club. Wendy Cobain O'Connor, Kurt's mother, said in a newspaper, now he's gone and he's joined that stupid club. I told him not to join that stupid club. And she was referring to Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Jim Morrison, all passing at the same age. It's also said that Kurt's mother could have been referring to the deaths of his two uncles and great uncle that all took their own lives. The biographer Charles Cross said that there are some ridiculous sea theories out there that say that Kurt Cobain ended it all at 27 years old intentionally just so he could be a part of the club. But I also heard that when he passed, there were a lot of people that thought that Courtney Love had something to do with it. I don't know if you guys are my age and you remember the two together. I mean, they were that rock and roll type of couple. But it was also said, bringing it back to Robert in the beginning, that Kurt Cobain allegedly sold his soul to the devil for fame. So there are so many things that are circulating the passing of Kurt Cobain, and it's still a mystery. In 2011, Amy Whinehouse died at the age of 27 as well, and this brought more attention to the idea of this 27 Club, especially because Amy herself had said 3 years earlier that she was afraid of passing at that age. Her cause of death was ruled alcohol poisoning. Now, this is a little funky because Amy was, doing her shows and she ended up having to cancel shows so she could go and get some rest. She was really struggling. And at one point they thought she had gotten sober, but she evidently didn't. Now, when she passed, I read that one of her security guards was there with her. He said that he remembered seeing her. She was sitting on the couch, eating snacks, watching this television program, laughing. And then when he came in to check on her the next day, she was gone. She had passed in her sleep, which to me is a little spooky, okay? Because you just never know. You could just go to sleep one night, love you, talk to you tomorrow, and then you don't wake up, right? But that's what they say happened to her. Now, Amy Winehouse's brother would come out at some point and say that her eating disorder, had a big effect on the way that she passed. And he said that because of her ED that she had had for many years, her body was weak and it just could not fight off all the other things she was putting into her body, as well as overworking and substances and all of that stuff, and it just broke her down. But it is so strange that Amy said, I'm afraid in 3 years I'm going to be 27. I don't want to be a part of it. And she was. Now, Jonathan Brandis, who was an actor, ended it all in 2003 when he was just 27 years old. He had started acting when he was only 6, and he had his big break in 1993. However, by 1996, the show he was on, Sequest DSV, was canceled. And by 2002, he was hoping for an opportunity to have a comeback into fame. He was going to be in a movie with Bruce Willis and Colin Farrell, but all of his scenes were cut from the movie. But just a year later, he was found hanging in his LA apartment. He would later pass in the hospital. Anton Yelchin, who played in a band but was mostly known as an actor, appearing in 18 films from 2011 to 2015 alone. He died in 2016 in a freak accident where he was pinned against a brick pillar by his own car. I mean, can you imagine? And then we go on to Jean-Michel. Jean-Michel Basquiat is also included, even though he only had a brief musical career. He was mostly an artist. He had developed a serious substance problem. And in fact, in the months leading up to his passing in 1988, of acute mixed substance intoxication, from opioids to white powder, he claimed to be shooting 100 bags of H per day. But he has since became one of the most celebrated artists in the past 3 decades. He was in a biopic, and he was also referenced many times in some of Jay-Z's songs. So again, there's a lot of theories that are going around about the 27 Club. And if I missed anybody that y'all know of, let me know down below in the comments section. However, the things that people really talk about is the substance use in the musical industry was super heavy. And there's quite a few theories. Now, I'm going to tell you one of my theories. You know, I know the whole selling your soul to the devil type of thing, and I definitely believe the whole, what good is it for a man to gain the whole world and to lose his soul? I don't know if the devil comes down and straight up makes a deal with you, but then again, I don't know. I don't speak to him. He knows better, okay? But what I do believe is that there is this thing, this rumor, and this is all alleged, that certain producers will feed their artists substances. It keeps them going, like things to keep them up, but also gives some of these producers and these managers a way to control their artist. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the Elvis movie. That was happening way back then. If you guys haven't seen it, even if you didn't listen to Elvis's music, which I didn't, it's a really good movie. It's a good movie to just kind of see how they say things happened. But I've even seen artists even recently speak out about these types of things. I saw one of them particularly over on Instagram. He was a rapper. He says that he's sober now, but he was saying when he was trying that his manager kept bringing him stuff. And he felt like at that point he was trying to keep him on it. And so it's so weird that it's like this thing in the musical industry that they use so many substances. Now, people would say, why would they do that? Okay, and I never thought of this until I saw that Instagram live with that rapper I was telling y'all about. Now, according to this rapper, he said that not only do managers feed these substances to the artist, but they also have begun to take life insurance policies out on them. So if you think about it, a manager has an artist, right? They've got them signed into a contract where they get their royalties from their songs. Now, if they pass, the manager is going to get that money as long as the manager still has them under contract. And then also, it is a well-known fact that after an artist passes away, their music does better. It doesn't matter who you are. You have a bunch of artists that we didn't even really know who they were, or they weren't big until they passed. Once they passed, now everybody knows who they are. Well, because of that, people go and stream and listen to their music to find out who they are. So then therefore that manager gets all that money for that, the royalties from it forever. They don't have to share it with the artist anymore. And they took out a life insurance policy on that person. Now, I don't know how true that is, but that makes a lot of sense. And we were actually talking about this on my Patreon just recently, because if you think about how many rappers nowadays are getting shot, okay? I'm not saying people in the industry have anything to do with it. I don't know. That whole story that I just told y'all was something that a rapper said on an Instagram Live. But it does make you think about it. I mean, when we were growing up, when Biggie and Tupac's lives were gone, it was like, oh my gosh, whoa. But nowadays, it's every other week somebody is losing their lives, especially in the music industry. And it just kind of makes you wonder, who has something to gain from their artists passing away? Who has something to gain? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that the 27 Club is just a phenomenon? Do you think it is just a big coinky-dink? Do you think that these artists sold their souls to the devil? Do you think that they tried to? Do you think that there could be something more sinister going on? That they could be setups? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see y'all again very, very soon with another spooky video. So make sure y'all have your notification bells on. Subscribe if you haven't. And thank you guys so much for watching. See you soon. Love you guys. Bye.